What does it really take to raise a real Enderman from Minecraft in the real world? No mods, only reality. And it brings destruction, strange disappearances of things, and huge consequences. Today we simulate the impossible. It all started in a deep, forgotten cave. My spatial distortion scanner was going crazy. That was a very bad sign. In the darkness, a strange light was pulsing, casting creepy, flickering shadows on the walls. It was not just an egg. It was a living, pulsing ender pearl. I should not have touched it. Even with protective gloves, it reacted instantly, much faster than I could imagine. The locks clicked. There was no way back now. I was ready for anything. I brought this discovery home to study it. My improvised lab was clearly not ready for something like this. It darkened and started pulsing faster and faster. This is where it begins. I decided to test a theory by pushing the limits. I gave it chorus extract. The powder became its first food. It consumed it eagerly without hesitation. It absorbed every particle at incredible speed. The temperature was rising every second. Days passed. I waited, watching every small change with tense anticipation. Finally, the shell cracked, revealing what was inside. I saw him. He was sitting there, as if he had been waiting for me all this time. He looked almost harmless, at first glance, even a little cute. Small, clumsy, fragile looking, but with surprising determination. His skin looked like dense void, soft but strangely elastic. The silence was broken by a strange, distorted sound. It was like he was trying to speak to me. I named him Baby Ender, the best name.
Ender.
He started exploring the world, curious and careful with every step. But then I made a mistake. I forgot the main rule: water. For him, it was like acid. In pain, he teleported instantly. I realized he was not just a pet. He had power I could not control. I found him on the ceiling. He was scared. I started designing a special protective container, dry and tall. I needed the strongest materials, thick glass and sealant. Inside, I created a copy of his world, completely dry with stone blocks. I moved him there and made sure he was safe. Now he was protected in his new enclosure. At least I thought so. I had no idea what would happen next. It was time to feed him from a safe distance. He swallowed it without thinking. His body immediately filled with new energy. I decided to run one more test. That was a huge mistake. As soon as he consumed it, the space inside the box started to bend. I understood I needed stronger protection. At night, he glowed like a portal to another world. I could not sleep anymore. That night, a neighbor's cat entered the house. The Enderman froze. Eye contact, the worst thing that could happen. The cat came too close, not understanding the danger. Fear turned into pure rage. His pulse increased. Space tore apart and the glass could not hold. After breaking free, he started evolving right in front of me. Now he was almost 2 meters tall, a real giant towering over me. I froze in fear. I tried to calm him carefully, and it worked. The tension slowly faded, but the room was destroyed. I understood he could not stay in a normal house. I decided to take him outside. In the yard, he found a strange panel, and he pressed it. Space tore open. A portal appeared in reality. He stepped inside without hesitation. It was a Chujoi cold world, a world like empty void. And he was not alone. Shadows were moving in the darkness. Endermites attacked first, in a swarm. He quickly learned how to fight, using the environment as a weapon. And it seems he really liked human popcorn. Our experiment was successful.
My life was like a broken record. Every day I came to this dark toy factory. There was no joy, only routine. Toys moved on the belt in thousands. I packed them without even looking. At the end of the shift, I always cleaned the workshop. It was the most boring part of the job. I just wanted to go home as soon as possible. Suddenly, I noticed something strange under the belt. It was an egg, but not a normal one. It was pink and seemed to pulse. I carefully took it in my hands. It was soft, but heavy. I felt life beating inside it. I could not leave it in this cold place. I made a quick decision. I hid the egg under my jacket. The main thing was that the security would not notice anything. I carefully put the find into my backpack. My heart was beating fast with fear and curiosity. At the exit, I tried to act normal. The guard did not even look at me. I finally breathed out with relief outside. I looked at the old factory building, a place where people forgot about children's joy. But now I had a small secret in my backpack. All the way home, I thought about what to do with it. I lived alone in an empty apartment. Maybe this was a chance to change something? I drove faster than usual. Finally, we arrived. My home always felt too quiet, but tonight everything was different. I hurried to bring the backpack inside. I turned on the light and locked the door. No strangers, only me and my strange find. It was time to look at it more carefully. I gently took the egg out of the backpack. In the light of the lamp, it looked even more amazing. The veins on it were slightly moving. It was definitely alive. It needed warmth and softness. I used my favorite sofa pillow. I made something like a cozy nest. I carefully touched the shell. It answered with a soft warmth. I sat next to it for several hours, just waiting and watching. In the morning, the process became faster. Small cracks appeared on the shell. I held my breath. The moment of birth was very close. Inside was an incredible creature, a tiny pink girl with very long legs and arms. She had big, confused eyes. Her whole body was covered with a transparent, sticky liquid. She looked at me with her big green eyes. There was no fear in her eyes. I carefully took her in my hands. She was so light and fragile. The baby immediately reached for me with her long arms. I took her to the bathroom. A big bathtub would be like an ocean for her. So I decided to use the sink. It was safer. I gently washed off all the strange liquid. She closed her eyes with pleasure, so she would not get cold. I wrapped her in the softest towel. She looked like a small pink roll. The next morning, she looked very sad. She opened her mouth and made a quiet sound. I understood the problem. My new friend was hungry. I had no idea what to feed such a creature. I decided to start with fruits. I took fresh strawberries from the fridge. I cut them into small pieces. I gave her a sweet piece. At first, she was suspicious of the food. She smelled the red berry for a long time. She took a small bite and stopped. Then her face turned into a big smile. She really liked it. Everything around made her happy. Even my car keys became a treasure for her. She touched them with her long fingers. I needed to give her a name. Because of her long arms and legs, I had only one idea. I called her Mommy Long Legs. Her arms were as elastic as her legs. Suddenly, there was a dull sound and loud crying. She was sitting on the floor and holding her knee. Real tears were falling from her big eyes. She was in pain and scared. I gently picked her up. I held her as carefully as I could. She wrapped her long arms around my neck.